Hello, everybody. Proverbs chapter 7. I am going to read, let's see, at least I'm going to start from verse 6. Watch this. For at the window of my house I have looked out through my lattice, that's a window, and I have seen among the simple, I have perceived among the youths, a young man lacking sense, passing along the street near her corner, taking the road to her house in the twilight, in the evening, at the time of night and darkness. Let me fast forward, verse 21, what happens? With much seductive speech she persuades him. With her smooth talk she compels him. All at once he follows her, as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a stag is caught fast, till an arrow pierces its liver, as a bird rushes into a snare. He does not know that it will cost him his life. Okay, that's big stuff that just happened. This young man was walking where he shouldn't have walked, met somebody he should have not spent a minute with, and like a ox led to the slaughter, he's done. Okay, but I want to focus our attention on this part right here. Verse 7. And I have seen among the simple, I have perceived among the youths, a young man lacking sense. Interesting. It doesn't say a young man with raging hormones, which biologically he needs to find a release for. You know what I'm saying? Just to be a little bit graphic. It doesn't say that he had raging hormones and therefore everything was okay. No. Bible says, a young man lacking sense. Now that word sense, I don't know why they chose the word sense, honestly, because I looked it up and 508 times that word is translated hearts. And then like every other word, like there was like 12, 11, 10, 9, 10, 10, 9. Like every other word is like sense, understanding, along those lines. So let's trust in the Lord with all your heart. That's the same word that they're using right here, sense. So here's a young man that was lacking, let's try this word, heart. His heart was in the wrong place. His heart was not full of God, or for us, Jesus. His heart was not full of the words of God. And Jesus says, may my words abide in you, right? And so he was lacking heart. It's very interesting that as soon as he lacks heart, before you know it, his feet start going in a direction he should not be going. In the very next verse, going in a direction he should not be going. So, where's your heart? Where your heart is, it's going to show your next steps. Is it going towards or away from where you need to be? Where is your heart? So what's your heart full of? What are your emotions? What are your the thoughts of your heart? Where are they? What are they? And it's going to be really indicative of life and death, because before long, this lack of heart that he had led him to death. Why? Because sin breeds death, and he was being led to death. And so this Proverbs writer right now is telling us we need to be very careful. And all throughout Proverbs, what are we storing up in our hearts? What is the condition of our hearts? Now, yes, it says a young man lacking sense. The ESV chose to choose that word, and other translations, I think NIV uses the word judgment. And so he didn't have the right judgment. Agreed, he didn't have the right judgment. But let me ask you something. When your heart is strong towards one thing and your mind is strong towards another, what happens over time in the long run? Okay, I think you know. Hearts. We're called to love the Lord our God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength. And here's how it normally works. When our hearts desire something, our minds start working to get this, to justify this, or to work for it to get whatever is in here done. And so it is really important to make sure our hearts are good, our hearts are right, and our hearts are in good shape. So let me ask you, how's your heart? Is it in the right place? Is it filled with the right things? Is it filled with the right person? Or is it in the wrong place filled with the wrong things, and that's going to tell us our future. It's going to tell us our next steps, and it's going to tell us our end, because sin leads to death, and Spirit, God, Jesus, leads to life. All right, so there's some warnings for us here. It was a slow death, and that's kind of how it happens. And we want to guard ourselves. We want to guard our hearts above all things. Amen? Amen. All right, so thank you, and I'll see you for Proverbs chapter 8. God bless.